Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Rule Well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Alright, back one another lesson here. This video will be entitled An Omen of Revelation 18 verses 2. Babylon is fallen, alright, a sign of future prophecy and be a foreshadowing of future prophecy. And basically, this is a little event during the 250th anniversary of America's independence and whatnot. This was on July the 2nd, 2026. Okay, as you see in the video, a skydiver, alright, carrying the American flag, get thrown down by the wind. Alright, basically like around here, and fall into the bleachers, the crowd, whoever who watching entertainment, whatnot. And this is a sure sign. Alright, the end of America's Babylon reign, which is a future, which is a prophecy prophetic by the prophets of old. Okay, that vision the Lord gave John the Revelator, or John, the Apostle John, okay, about now what we preaching. Okay, here the last empire, okay, of who is ruled by Esau Edom, alright, the so-called white man, alright, who is on top, alright, okay, and his system is going down, is being made known, okay, and based on events happened this year, alright, even with the 250th anniversary or celebration and whatnot, basically the Lord played it, okay, even was stage with Trump, some like the piece of roof had fall, okay, and with plagues with hail, in Mount Rushmore in the States, and the heat wave, and also this, the wind, and this is surely a omen, because with America, they're gonna be taken down, alright, so when they smoke, with the thermonuclear missiles that fire, so they pump, or and the future is destruction, alright, and this is leading to major prophecy to happen, World War III, which is going to happen, alright, according to Revelation 11 verses 14, alright, the third war cometh quickly, alright, which will surely be America's demise against all these nations, alright, okay, so this is where we at in prophecy. So just have the definition of omen.
Omen.
Alright, an event regarded as a portent of good or evil. And this is our righteous judgment, indignation of America, recompense for what they did to our people, the Israelites. Alright, mostly over there in the Western Hemisphere. Alright, judgment is about to reign. Alright, with the main judgment being that thermonuclear fire mentioned in scriptures, which we'll get into. Alright, as you see, prophetic significance. Alright, yeah, prophetic significance, prophetic interpretation, basically being shown right here. Okay, it says portent, sign, signal, and this is what it is: a gesture, action, or song that is issued to be convey information or instructions, typically pre-arrangement between the parties concerned. Basically, a signal for America's demise, alright, token, forewarning, alright, warning, foreshadowing, which the prophets been forewarning, and is about to take effect from the apostles on down, and the Lord basically giving these little hints, alright, prediction, okay, this is all the inspiration of Yahushai. This last kingdom is about to fall, alright, America, Babylon the Great, prophecy, Okay, this is what we stress on. We hit, because our there's uh what we want to see, our hope, what we're looking for is this place to go down, the oppression. All right. Okay, America's had reaches 250th, basically number independent, which is a significance of divine judgment. Empires don't really last around 250 years. All right, so it's close. Uh, Let me see. Writing on the wall, like Babylon, like Daniel. All right, forewarning that what the Babylonian Empire was gonna fall to the Medes, and this is what is gonna happen. And the Medes being to uh Russia, according to Ezekiel 38. All right, they're gonna take down America, Babylon the Great. All right, there are clear signs that something unpleasant or unwelcome is going to happen. All right, heavy judgment and the ultimate judgment plague, all right, to come. All right, so this is what we are seeing here. All right, so this is just Revelation chapter 18. I'll start verses 1. It says, "And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory." Verse 2, it says, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, as you see with the wind, fallen." All right, so like, yeah, I'm just falling. All right, let me read that over again. It says, "And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird." Basically, gonna become a desolate land. All right, with that sweeping action, Isaiah 43 is 34. All right, with the scroll. Also, this reminds you of Isaiah 13 and verses 19. All right, with every basically creatures coming to dwell in the desolate land of America, Babylon the Great. This will be the aftermath of the destruction of that thermonuclear missiles, right? Okay, read down verses 3. All right, it says, "For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication," her wickedness, her seductiveness, her ways, which was pleasant to the nations, of America, Babylon the Great, how they had influence, power, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues." All right, and this will be the coming up hither of the chariots. I believe that's Revelation 11, or Salakia, I can already tell, but the coming up hither in those chariots, right, of Yahweh's return, because this place is going to be destroyed with the ultimate plague being that again, that nuclear missile. Okay, with 2 Peter 3 verses 10, the those nuclear missiles, the that fire, that destruction, the element shall melt with fire and heat. And now we read it. All right, it says, "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and power hath remembered her iniquities." Okay, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she filleth, fill to her double. And this is this recompense she's about to receive. Okay, this whole. All right, being America, the elites, Esau's empire. All right, for our people, enslavement, okay, and oppression. All right, for all the wickedness, she's going down. All right, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire. For strong is the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, who judgeth her. Alright? Strong is the Lord. Okay, and the prime, they had the prime, and now the time, and now they have the time, which is going down, destruction. Alright, of the empire. Alright. Now let's get this precept. As I said, 2 Peter chapter 3 and verses 10. Alright, a new heaven and a new earth and earth. Cause one thing, Babylon have, these elites, they have ideas of like the phoenix analogy, or all those things that they never be destroyed, they'll be rebirth. Their idea, or their them in their imaginations, as I did a video, their endeavor, okay, is futile, okay, worthless, because of prophecy. His imagination is vain, okay, it is not heavenly, right? Which vain things what passeth away, of vapor, all right, which is gonna happen with the empire, all right. With that smoke raising up, all right. This is 2 Peter 3 verses 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heaven shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." Okay, fervent heat. Okay, all the works, that they're gonna become the lake of fire, all right. And that land gonna be desolate, all right. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. So this is the future prophecy we are coming to. Okay, all right. Verse 11, it says, "Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?" Right, obeying Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is what we have to examine ourselves. All right, this is the characteristics the elect will have, changing their manner. All right, verse 12, "Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord of power, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." All right, because you had to look worthy, in sight of Yahweh Shai, standing before the Son of Man, is coming. All right, this is what we hasten and looking forward to, and it's coming. All right, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. So the authority and the power America has been given, that golden cup in the Lord's hand, is basically being recompensed, destroyed. All right, they're going down. Okay. This is Jeremiah. This chapter speaks the same thing: the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, the name for it mentioned in the scriptures. Jeremiah 51, I'll read from verses 1. And thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. Okay, what's that? Again, those ICBM nuclear missiles. Okay, with the sweeping action is gonna take is gonna proceed in America, Babylon the Great, the future prophecy. All right, to come off. Verse 2, it says, "And will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about." All right, those missiles. All right. I'm jumping down to verses. I don't want to make this too long. All right. Let's see. Verses 6, it says, "Flee out of the midst of Babylon, and deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's Yahweh's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense." All right. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, okay, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Okay, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so, if so be she may be healed. All right, and she cannot be healed. All right, her judgment is inevitable, forever, coming. All right, and she's gonna be destroyed. She's gonna be made desolate. All right, she's gonna be wiped off across the face of the earth. All right, that land, America, Babylon the Great, again. All right, okay, this is Obadiah 1 and verses 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, and that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? As you see, this was a foreshadowing. He thought, he fly in there good, and the wind bring him down. All right, down. And this is where this place is going. All right, Tabula China on that. It says Slakia, verse 4 says, though thou exalted thyself as the eagle, that's the symbol America does have, right, for the pride, and though thou settest thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord Yahweh. And this is where we come into his future prophecy, and it's coming. The word of the Lord is not void. All right, as prophets been declaring the mouthpiece of the Lord, and this place is going down. This is 2nd Ezra chapter. I'll just read, to the point. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 9 verses 4. All right, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High speak of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, from the prophets. All right. Verse 5, it says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. All right, so everything have a beginning, have an end, because the Lord Yahweh, the Ancient of Days, arranges and orders and set the appointed time. And now is the time for the end of America, Babylon the Great, which is to come. All right, future prophecy. All right, verse 6, it says, even so the times of the highest have plain beginnings in wonders and powerful works, and the endings in effects and signs. New heavens and earth is coming. All right, the Lord is bringing this in effects, signs. This is a sign, a signal of America's demise, fall, destruction. Babylon is fallen. It's fallen. All right. So Lord's willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal and Shalom.